All right, ladies and gentlemen, gather around, because we've got some breaking news in the world of football that's sending shockwaves across the league. We're diving headfirst into Cowboys territory today, and, oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about? The Dallas Cowboys, America's team, as they like to call themselves, have made a move that's got everyone buzzing. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone from the analysts to the fans in the stands and, of course, the critics. Now, let's get right to it. The Cowboys have officially brought in Brian Schottenheimer as their offensive coordinator. Yes, you heard that right. Schottenheimer is back in the spotlight, and the Cowboys are banking on him to make some magic happen on the offensive side of the ball. But here's the question that's got everyone talking. Is this the move that finally gets the Cowboys back to the Super Bowl? Or is this just another chapter in the never-ending saga of bold moves that don't quite pan out? Before we dive into the nitty-gritty of what this means for the Cowboys, let's take a moment to look at the bigger picture here. The Cowboys are a team that hasn't sniffed the Super Bowl since 1996. We're talking about a 27-year drought, folks. That's longer than some of you watching this video have been alive. For a franchise with such a storied history, a team that prides itself on its 5 Super Bowl championships, that's a drought of epic proportions. And every single season, we hear the same question: is this the year? Is this the year the Cowboys finally put it all together? Now, let's be clear about one thing. The Cowboys are not a team that lacks talent. They've got Dak Prescott under center, a quarterback who, despite his ups and downs, has shown he can make plays. They've got a solid running game, even with Ezekiel Elliott showing signs of wear and tear. Tony Pollard has emerged as a dynamic weapon out of the backfield. And let's not forget about the receiving corps, led by the electrifying CeeDee Lamb. Defensively, they've got Micah Parsons, one of the most feared pass rushers in the league, and a secondary that can hold its own. So, the talent is there. The pieces are in place. The question is, can Schottenheimer be the guy to bring it all together? Now, if you're familiar with Brian Schottenheimer's resume, you know he's been around the block. He's had stints as an offensive coordinator with the Jets, the Rams, and the Seahawks. His most recent stop was as a consultant for the Cowboys this past season. So, it's not like he's walking into a completely unfamiliar situation here. He's had time to get to know the team, the players, and the culture. But let's not sugarcoat it. Schottenheimer's track record as an offensive coordinator is, well, a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, Schottenheimer has shown he can craft offenses that are efficient and productive. When he was with the Seahawks, we saw Russell Wilson put up some of the best numbers of his career. But on the other hand, his offenses have been criticized for being too predictable, too conservative, and lacking creativity. And in today's NFL, where innovation is king, being labeled as predictable is not exactly a ringing endorsement. So, what does this mean for the Cowboys? Well, let's start with Dak Prescott. Dak is coming off a season where he led the league in interceptions, despite missing 5 games. That's not the kind of stat you want to see from your franchise quarterback. But let's not put all the blame on Dak here. The Cowboys' offensive system, under former offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, had its flaws. It was aggressive, yes, but it lacked the kind of balance and adaptability that's needed to win consistently in the playoffs. This is where Schottenheimer comes in. One of the things he's known for is emphasizing the running game and establishing a balanced offensive attack. If he can bring that to Dallas, it could take some of the pressure off Dak and make life easier for him. But at the same time, Schottenheimer needs to evolve. This is not the NFL of 2008 or 2012. The game has changed. Defenses are smarter, faster, and more versatile than ever. If Schottenheimer sticks to his old habits, the Cowboys are going to find themselves stuck in the same old rut. Let's talk about the running game for a moment, because this is an area where the Cowboys have some questions to answer. Ezekiel Elliott is no longer the workhorse he once was. The wear and tear of being a bell cow back have taken their toll, and it's clear that Tony Pollard is the more explosive and dynamic option at this point. But Pollard is coming off a serious injury, and it remains to be seen if he can handle a full workload. This is where Schottenheimer's philosophy could come into play. He's known for using a committee approach in the backfield, and that could be the best path forward for the Cowboys. If he can find the right balance between Zeke, Pollard, and maybe even a new addition in the draft or free agency, the Cowboys could have one of the most dangerous running games in the league. But here's the thing. Even with a strong running game, the Cowboys are only going to go as far as Dak Prescott takes them. And this is where Schottenheimer's ability to develop quarterbacks will be put to the test. Dak has shown flashes of brilliance, but he's also been maddeningly inconsistent at times. If Schottenheimer can help Dak clean up his decision-making, improve his mechanics, and get back to playing with confidence, the Cowboys' offense could be a force to be reckoned with. But that's a big if. Dak is entering his 8th season in the league, and at this point, he is who he is. The question is whether Schottenheimer can maximize his strengths and minimize his weaknesses. Now, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the Cowboys' playoff struggles, because this is the elephant in the room. No matter how well the team performs in the regular season, they always seem to come up short when it matters most. Last season, they were bounced from the playoffs in the divisional round by the San Francisco 49ers. And let's be honest, it wasn't just that they lost, it was how they lost. The offense looked completely out of sync, and Dak threw 2 costly interceptions. If the Cowboys are going to break through that playoff ceiling, they need an offensive system that can adapt and thrive under pressure. That's going to be Schottenheimer's ultimate test. But let's not forget about the other side of the ball, because defense wins championships, right? The Cowboys' defense, led by coordinator Dan Quinn, has been one of the best in the league. They've got playmakers at every level, from Micah Parsons to Trayvon Diggs to DeMarcus Lawrence. If the offense can hold up its end of the bargain, this defense is good enough to carry the Cowboys deep into the playoffs. But that's a big if. So, what's the verdict here? Is Brian Schottenheimer the guy who's going to lead the Cowboys back to the promised land? Or is this just another move that keeps the Cowboys spinning their wheels? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, the pressure is on. Jerry Jones is not getting any younger, and the Cowboys fan base is as hungry as ever for a championship. If this doesn't work out, you can bet there will be some major changes in Dallas. But hey, that's just my take. What do you think? Are you buying into the Schottenheimer hype? Or do you think this is just another move that's destined to fall flat? Let me know in the comments, because I want to hear from you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the latest news and analysis. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.